Once secret emails belonging to Democrat Party presidential nominee Hillary Clinton exposed the involvement of Obama's then Secretary of State in shipping weapons to jihadists, including to terrorists in the Islamic State, or ISIS, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange said last week. Speaking to the far-left Democracy Now! Program, Assange highlighted the fact that Clinton played a key role in funneling weaponry from Libya, which she helped destroy alongside jihadist allies on the ground, to Obama-backed terror groups in Syria. One email reveals that an effort by Libyan dictator Muammar Gaddafi to create a gold-backed currency for the region was among the key reasons globalists supported killing Gaddafi and destroying Libya. Other emails reveal that the Obama administration knowingly supported al-Qaeda and the Muslim Brotherhood in Syria, hoping to create an Islamic State. Another shows that Clinton knew her Libyan rebels were massacring blacks as part of an ethnic cleansing campaign, along with other war crimes. So far, though, the press has largely ignored the scandals, and in some especially bizarre cases has even tried to deny reality. The pro-transparency organization WikiLeaks has released, among other documents related to Clinton, a trove of more than 30,000 emails and attachments sent to and from her private server. The emails cover Clinton's tenure as Secretary of State, perhaps most infamous for the disasters in Libya, including the Benghazi attack that killed 4 Americans, the takeover of the country by terror armies, and the brutal summary execution of a former U.S. terror war ally. "We came, we saw, he died," Clinton boasted about Gaddafi before cackling maniacally. Despite a virtual blackout by the Clinton-supporting establishment media, Clinton's involvement in the arming, training, and funding of terrorist groups in Libya and Syria has been well known to more informed segments of the electorate for years. In recent months, GOP presidential candidate Donald Trump has been making a big issue out of it. The scandals could prove damaging to Clinton once again, especially considering her apparently false testimony made to lawmakers under oath. Last week, in an interview with Democracy Now! Host Juan Gonzalez, Assange outlined the importance of the work WikiLeaks was doing. Speaking of Clinton specifically, he said WikiLeaks had helped expose her gun-running to terrorists. So, those Hillary Clinton emails, they connect together with the cables that we have published of Hillary Clinton, creating a rich picture of how Hillary Clinton performs in office, but, more broadly, how the U.S. Department of State operates, Assange said. So, for example, the disastrous, absolutely disastrous intervention in Libya, the destruction of the Gaddafi government, which led to the occupation of ISIS of large segments of that country, weapons flows going over to Syria, being pushed by Hillary Clinton, into jihadists within Syria, including ISIS. That's there in those emails. There's more than 1,700 emails in Hillary Clinton's collection, that we have released, just about Libya alone. Assange took the opportunity to tout WikiLeaks, which has also released official U.S. diplomatic cables, hacked Democrat Party emails exposing the Clinton camp and the party plotting against Bernie Sanders, and much more. WikiLeaks has become the rebel library of Alexandria. It is the single most significant collection of information that doesn't exist elsewhere, in a searchable, accessible, citable form, about how modern institutions actually behave, he said. And it's gone on to set people free from prison, where documents have been used in their court cases, hold the CIA accountable for renditions programs, feed into election cycles, which have resulted in the termination of, in some case, or contributed to the termination of governments, in some cases, taken the heads of intelligence agencies, ministers of defense and so on. So, our civilization can only be as good as our knowledge of what our civilization is. We can't possibly hope to reform that which we do not understand. It is true that WikiLeaks, along with some other institutions and organizations that aim to break through official secrecy, have played an enormous role in exposing potentially treasonous globalist machinations in Libya, Syria, and beyond. Non-profit watchdog Judicial Watch, for example, secured a 2012 U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency document providing proof that the Obama administration has known all along that Al-Qaeda and the Muslim Brotherhood were the major forces driving the insurgency in Syria, yet Obama and his allies supported the opposition anyway, a massive violation of federal anti-terror laws, and potentially even giving aid and comfort to America's enemies. The same document notes that the Obama administration and its allies backing the Islamic Jihad against Assad in Syria were hoping to establish what the Pentagon report called a declared or undeclared Salafist, fundamentalist Islam, principality in eastern Syria. Today, that principality is known as ISIS, ISIL, or the Islamic State. These facts are hardly a secret. The New American Magazine first reported on the dire document well over a year ago, when it was first released by a federal court order. More recently, Breitbart, citing Judicial Watch Board member Christopher J. Farrell, confirmed that the explosive dire document was sent to Clinton based on the recipient markings. GOP candidate Trump shined light on the facts yet again. Hillary Clinton is crooked, he wrote in a June 15 Facebook post linking to the Breitbart article that was promptly liked and shared by almost 100,000 other users. Hillary Clinton received a classified intelligence report stating that the Obama administration was actively supporting Al-Qaeda in Iraq, the terrorist group that became the Islamic State. Indeed, the facts are now well known to informed news consumers, who are increasingly tuning out the establishment's propaganda organs in favor of alternative and conservative media outlets. Of course, the establishment media could not let the facts tarnish Clinton or Obama, both of whom can thank the mischaracterized mainstream media for whatever support they actually possess among the citizenry. Most media simply ignored the smoking gun. But in an effort to bolster the White House narrative, the increasingly discredited PolitiFact website asked the White House whether it was supporting Al-Qaeda. Naturally, the spokesman for the White House said no. If they had asked Joe Biden, who explained in detail during a speech at Harvard how Obama's anti-ISIS coalition helped Al-Qaeda and armed, funded, and created ISIS, they might have gotten a different answer. The website, which purports to debunk claims by politicians it does not like, followed up by asking a few globalists and neocon cheerleaders of Obama's machinations in Syria whether the White House was telling the truth. Misleadingly referring to the trio as independent experts, PolitiFact claimed they agreed with the White House. In reality, even the experts acknowledged the Obama support for Al-Qaeda and ISIS, but they claimed it was unintended. Oops. Other explosive revelations on the globalist-backed use of jihadist proxies in Libya and Syria have also emerged from Clinton's emails, confirming what this magazine and other media outlets have been reporting all along. In 2011, for example, the New American became one of the first media outlets in the world to report on the fact that Gaddafi's proposed gold-backed currency for the region was likely a major factor in the decision of Western globalists and the United Nations to overthrow his regime by partnering with Al-Qaeda and other jihadist terrorist groups on the ground. Al-Qaeda's Libyan branch was known as the Libyan Islamic Fighting Group, AFLIFG, and emails show the State Department knew this as well. Declassified emails from the U.S. State Department under Clinton, released on New Year's Eve and compiled in searchable format by WikiLeaks, now confirm that Gaddafi's gold currency plan was a major factor in the decision to kill him. In an April 2011 email to Clinton from Sid Blumenthal, a globalist warmonger who has long been close to the Clinton family and served as an aide, Clinton is told that Gaddafi's government holds 143 tons of gold, and a similar amount in silver. The gold, which was accumulated prior to the Obama-backed, Al-Qaeda-led, UN-approved rebellion in Libya, was intended to be used to establish a Pan-African currency based on the Libyan golden dinar, Blumenthal told Clinton, adding that the precious metals were valued at over $7 billion. This plan was designed to provide the Francophone, French-speaking, African countries with an alternative to the French, Central African, franc, CFA, Blumenthal also told Clinton that this gold currency plan was one of the factors that influenced globalist French President Nicolas Sarkozy's decision to commit France to the attack on Libya. Oil was another motivating factor. In short, Clinton should be very thankful to the press for covering up her record on Syria, Libya, and beyond. It reveals, among other crimes, flagrant violations of numerous federal laws, illegal support for terror groups and revolutions, responsibility for mass death and destruction, and the inner workings of how two nations were reduced to ruins with leadership from Obama and Clinton. If the public knew the facts, there is little chance that Clinton could run for any office. Much more likely would be nationwide demands for criminal prosecutions all up and down the ranks of the leadership, on both sides of the aisle. Top military officials have already distanced themselves from the potentially treasonous policies involving support for terror groups and overthrowing governments. Now all that remains is to make the American people aware so that justice can